as well. Arshpreet, today everybody seems to have, mounted the pressure as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. And one thing I find very, very interesting, just a couple of weeks ago when the ED had called in for questioning Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, and the Congress workers had taken to streets, and you had said this is vendetta politics, why don't you let law take its own course? Today, why don't you let law take its own course as far as the investigation with the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned?
Well, because at our time, they made sure that they took names of our party leaders, and before the investigation even took place, they had a perception that these people were guilty. That the same hasn't happened in this scenario, in this case, because that is a violation of the conflict of interest, which is a principle of natural justice. Number two, Aam Aadmi Party says we have zero tolerance for corruption. Now, that's a big say. If they really do have zero tolerance, they should do what they did in Punjab. They sacked a minister known by the name of Vijay Singla because he was accused of having done corruption. Now, why do they have double standards? Why do we not do the same with the deputy CM as well? Because he has not just been accused of corruption. There's an FIR, there was a CBI raid as well. So they should follow the same standards for him as well, what they followed in Punjab. Although in Punjab, they did not remove the person from his membership. However, Mr. Sisodia should, be removed till the time the trial is decided. If he's acquitted, he can be given back the deputy CM-ship. If he's, convicted, he shouldn't be. Number two, excise policy. Before that, I want to ask this to the Aam Aadmi Party, that you made the excise policy in the first place. After that, there were accusations of corruption. There were accusations of giving monopoly to two certain companies allegedly. And after that, if you hadn't done anything wrong, why did you have to revoke the excise policy in the first place? Yeah. Number three, Aam Aadmi Party very conveniently says that the CBI is doing vendetta politics. So why does the Aam Aadmi Party have to contradict itself all the time? Because back in the day, they have leveled allegations and pointed fingers at many people on the basis of the investigation of the CBI. And does that also mean that in the future they would never ever be asking for CBI's investigation for other people, since they think that the
But that brings me to the exact same question, Arshpreet, because that was the narrative of the Congress Party as well, that there is vendetta politics as far as the misuse of these agencies is concerned. So I'm just trying to understand that, do you have a different stand as far as agencies in the country are concerned, or is it just convenient because today Aam Aadmi Party is the one who has to answer these questions? But I'll let you ponder on that thought. I want to bring Varun Singh in the conversation as well. Varun, what I'm finding very difficult to understand is there are certain numbers that are in front of everybody. Those are allegations of quid pro quo. There are allegations that certain private individuals became beneficiaries and became recipients as far as proceeds of crime were concerned, and that is what is detailed in that FIR by the CBI as well. But in this whole barrage of press conferences that we've seen since Friday to now, we don't seem to have clear answers to those numbers, but we continue talking about the education model, the health model, all of that is fine. But today, even viewers and citizens of this country would be looking for specific answers. If there is nothing wrong, why not just give answers as far as those numbers are concerned?
Let me start with this, that it's ironical that a party that was born after India Against Corruption, led by Anna Hazare, who has been advocating prohibition all his life, is now answering questions. The Aam Aadmi Party is answering questions related to taking liquor to the gullies and the nooks of Delhi. And their issues are very, very, very different. They have an issue that the Lieutenant Governor asked them to modify the bill that they had originally presented in concern to non-conforming areas. I don't know why they had to scrap it, only because DD and MCA or MCD were involved. In non-conforming areas, they were asked that all those people who are going to set up shops should also take permissions from MCD and DDA. And that was by the Lieutenant Governor. It is a very thoughtful, introduction to the bill. And I don't understand, in no part of the country do we see a downfall when it comes to revenue generation from alcohol or from liquor or from wine. And when you're selling 87, when your sales goes up 87%, your income reduces of a state government. And for what joy are you giving a waiver to alcohol and for setting up shops? For liquor, it is a luxury. It is not an essential commodity. No government in this country ever gives any form of concession when it comes to giving licenses for setting up shops. You pay fails to understand that a state which has been, I was very surprised when Atishi came up with a statement, the best, education minister of this country reaches schools at 6 when it starts at 8. That is another debate. But who gives them the certificate of best education minister when their passing percentage of 10th is below 90, while the entire state in
Well, we'll
country
keep
is
that
94?
for another